Formula One is ruthless. Loyalty that only lasts as long as results do. Adrian Sutil had given Force India his best season in 2011. He had fought for every point, finished 6th in Brazil, and helped the team secure their highest ever constructors finish. And yet, when 2012 season came around, his name wasn't on the roster or on the grid. Force India had made their choice. Paul di Resta would stay and Nico Hülkenberg would take the second seat. It was a gamble. Sutil was a known quantity. Hülkenberg had spent 2011 on the sidelines as a reserve driver for a single rookie season, but Vijay Mallya believed this was the duo that would take Force India to the next level. The 2012 Formula One season was chaos. The first 7 races had 7 different winners, something the sport had never seen before. But Force India wasn't focused on winning races. Not yet. What they needed was consistency. Enter the VJM 05. This wasn't the fastest midfield car, it wasn't the most aggressive design, but it was stable, it was reliable, and with the right strategy, it is capable of putting both drivers in the points more often than not. And that, in the long run, could be the difference in the battle for the Constructors' Championship. The season didn't start the way Force India had hoped. Paul di Resta and Nico Hülkenberg were both struggling to get into the top 10 consistently. The midfield was tighter than ever, and the teams like Sauber and Williams had found serious pace. And then came Bahrain. It wasn't just any race, it was a statement. Di Resta pulled off one of the best drives of his career, finishing in 6th place.
Aí você viu como pula na frente o Vettel, Felipe Massa tentou se enfiar ali por dentro. O Hamilton tenta segurar a segunda posição, o Weber vem em terceiro. Pérez. Foram os 3 únicos que não pararam até agora.
Seria muito legal uma vitória da Lotus, né, Gabriel? Mais uma inesperada para esse início de corrida. O Paul di Resta é ultrapassagem,
indo até a volta número 15, com pneus macios. Vamos ver que pneu que ele vai colocar, e agora ele bota pneu médio. Quarto com o Mark Webber. Quem poderia esperar? Confronto direto de Red Bull e McLaren, ou uma chegada do Nico Rosberg, que está vendo uma corrida diferente, confronto de Red Bulls com os carros da Lotus.
That result changed everything. Force India now had proof that their car had the potential. They just had to unlock it more often. As the season went on, something became clear. Hülkenberg wasn't just here to be a second driver. By mid-season, he was starting to out-qualify and outrun Paul di Resta. Suddenly, Force India wasn't just a team picking up points here and there. They were becoming a serious problem for the midfield's traditional powerhouses. Behind the scenes, things were getting tense. Di Resta had been the team's golden boy for 2 seasons, but now, Hülkenberg was proving to be the fastest driver. At the Singapore Grand Prix, Di Resta finished an incredible 4th, the best result of his career.
Because round the final corner he comes now to close down Alonso's lead and to win for the 2nd year running here in Singapore. It's Sebastian Vettel and Red Bull on top. Lewis Hamilton out of the race through no fault of his own, and McLaren have to settle for 2nd place with Jenson Button. And Fernando Alonso, who started 5th, still has a championship lead, still has another podium in Formula One, and comes home to take 3rd place ahead of Paul di Resta with his best finish in Formula One ever. A great 4th place for the Force India driver.
But instead of celebrating, the question started to circulate. Was Force India starting to lean towards Hülkenberg as the future leader? Their internal rivalry was heating up, and with only a handful of races left, everything was on the line. Then came Brazil, the final race of the season, and the race that would define Force India's 2012 campaign. It started in the wet, cars were spinning, strategies were changing by the second, and through all the chaos, one car was making its way to the front. And guess? Nico Hülkenberg.
Hülkenberg is absolutely flying, and remember, this is the track he got pole position in exactly these kind of conditions.
Lap after lap, he was climbing past the Ferraris, past the Red Bulls, and then unbelievably, he was leading the race. For 30 laps, Force India was in P1. It was one of the biggest upsets in Formula One history. But then, disaster. Hülkenberg in tricky conditions collided with Lewis Hamilton while fighting for the lead.
Through the back markers. But that wasn't going to help anybody.
A penalty, a heartbreak, he finished 5th. It wasn't the fairy tale ending, but it was something just as important. Proof. Force India had a car and a driver that could fight at the front. And the next season, they wanted even more. By the time the 2012 season ended, Force India had already finished 7th in the constructor standings. This wasn't an improvement on 2011, but it wasn't a step back either. And now they had a real decision to make. Hülkenberg was being courted by Sauber. De Resta still wanted to be in the team's long-term future. Would Force India try to hold on to Hülkenberg? Would they bring back a familiar face like Sutil? Or would they make a completely unexpected move? One thing was clear, Force India wasn't done making headlines. If you guys are enjoying the series, smash the subscribe button. And if you haven't liked the video yet, do smash the like button as well. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Till the next time, peace.